Are we ready? Okay. Call to order the meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, August 13th, 2026, regular meeting at 705 Kindercomack Road and via Zoom on the internet, 7 p.m. I ask everyone to, in a moment, please stand and let us remember all those who, all of our emergency service people who are there for all of us, but especially those who are helping with the flooding throughout the United States and the earthquake in Colombia as well as through the rest of the world. Mr. Shtanian, would you lead us in the salute to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, statement of compliance with the Open Public Meeting Act. This meeting complies with the Open Public Meeting Act by notification via the January 9th, 2026, January 16th, 2026, sunshine notice containing the location, date, time, and access information to the town news and the record, and by posting of the same on the municipal bulletin board and the borough website and filing notice of the same with the municipal clerk. Madam Deputy Clerk, roll call, please.
Council President Kinsella.
Here.
Councilwoman Montesano Cohen is absent with prior notice. Councilwoman Mallory.
Here.
Councilman Glass.
Here.
Councilwoman Darrywall.
Here.
Councilman Pfeffer.
Here.
Mayor Papaleo.
Here, we have approval of minutes. Could I have a motion and second for approval of the minutes of the Mayor and Council regular meeting of July 9th, 2026?
So move.
Second.
It has been moved and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any abstention, any recusal? Okay.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I have to abstain. I wasn't here the last meeting.
Okay, we need a second then from someone else?
Second.
All right, again, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstention?
I abstain.
Very good, thank you. Okay, we have a proclamation, and we're going to do that with, is our firefighter here? Excellent, thank you for being here. So we're going to move, without objection, we're going to move forward on the agenda. Resolution, let me find it. Someone help me?
No.
Firefighter?
214.
214. Okay, I want to move forward the appointment, approve the appointment of a junior firefighter. Could I have a motion second to move resolution 26-214?
So move. Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That's nice. Okay, we're going to do the firefighter first and the Indian proclamation. Do we have the proclamation with us? It's in, Annie, can you get it? Sure. It's my fault. I should have, you did tell me that it was my mailbox and I didn't pick it up. All right, so why don't we start with the firefighter? Could I call the entire fire department forward, please? Michael?
Sir.
Oh, Michael, we really appreciate you coming out. Firefighters, please come so that you're all present. Michael, if you can be here. Michael, do you have any family members here? I'd like for you to come forward if you're comfortable with it. And you can hold, if you wish, you don't have to, but it is customary to hold swear on the Bible. Is that right? Yeah. Okay, do you need a firm or a swear okay? Okay. Come on up, Mom. So he's going to raise his right hand, so you need to stand on this side, this left side. There we go. There we go. So, Michael, in a minute, I'm going to call on Deputy Chief, or Assistant, your Deputy. Assistant Chief, I apologize for that. To say a few words about the commitment and how grateful we are for you and the other firefighters that are present. But few words from yourself. What led you to this moment?
Just wanted to now and help out my community, try to give back to ways that I moved here in 7th grade. I've been super to move here, and yeah, I just wanted to come out and give back to the community that I'm part of now. So
Excellent. Very, very
these
good.
guys, have been very welcoming and super helpful. So I wanted to thank them a lot as well.
This is dead. But we're going to move you forward a little bit. And I'm very grateful that you wanted to do this and come out and offer this support. And thanks to the families, as our firefighters here can attest to, it's not just the firefighter who joins the fire department, it's the entire family. Because when they go out at 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, it requires the support of the family to be able to do that. And we as a borough, the council and I as mayor are very grateful for this, Michael. So Michael, if you could raise your right hand, put your left hand over here. All right, great. I'm going to step out of the camera here so you can be seen. I state your name.
I, Michael Archwadza,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and that I
and that I
will bear true faith
will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the government
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in the state,
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I state your name.
I, Michael Archwadza,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
as a junior firefighter
as a junior firefighter
of the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department
of the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
so help me
so help me God.
Front and center, just talk a little bit about the commitment that they're making and I know, you want to delegate it?
I just want to welcome Michael to the River Edge Fire Department. Junior program is really becoming pretty big with the River Edge Volunteer Fire Department. But the junior program is basically 15 to, what is it, Chief, 17? Yeah. 15 to 17 years old. They do everything the firefighters do almost. They help us with ground ladders, pack and hose. Every junior firefighter has to learn where all the equipment is on the fire truck. So if we ask them to get a toolbox, get a piece of equipment, they know right where it is to go. When they will be going to the Bergen County Fire Academy, and even though they're 16, 17, they'll be training with regular firefighters of all ages. They'll be doing everything that we do, except what they call the flashover simulator, which have to be 18 to do that. Once they turn 18, they'll do that. They'll get all their certificates, and they'll be certified New Jersey firefighters.
And if I understand right, it's a 6 months commitment of training.
There's two ways to do it. You can do what some of our college students have done. They've done it through the summer, which it's all-week program. You go every day, Monday through Friday. And so basically, you go to the academy Mondays and Wednesdays or Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you do the summer program, your Mondays class and Wednesdays class, Mondays in the morning, take lunch, Wednesdays in the afternoon, so you're knocking out 2 classes a day.
Wow.
So it goes a little bit faster. A lot of our college students like to do that when they're home from college. They'll get it out of the way, and this way when they come home, they're ready to ride. And we have a couple of students now that Porco, he's leaving for college this year. We're gonna miss Andrew Capuano, Christina Allen,
Yeah.
and Jack Slane. So they're all going back to college. And those guys, even though they're home from college, they are a huge help to the River Edge Fire Department. They really get our trucks out. They help us with everything.
And it's a tremendous blessing, and we're very grateful for all of our volunteers, especially you, and for their families who support them. We're really very grateful. Round of applause. Thank you all. All right, excellent. Again, thank you. All right.
Congrats, Michael.
You're welcome.
It's fine for us.
So we also have a proclamation today, the India Day proclamation, and we have 3 members of the community to receive it. If you could come forward and just introduce yourself Briefly, maybe your name and why you feel this is important, that'd be great. Just if you could. And if you stand closer together, you'll feel less nervous. Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jyoti Sehgal. I live in River Edge, Oak Avenue, for 20 years now.
Wow.
I love this community, and I'm proud of be an Indian, and we will celebrate our 15th of August on here on the Memorial Park.
Yes.
And I'm here to support my community.
Yes,
Like
this
3
proclamation is actually going to be, I'm glad you brought that up. This proclamation is actually going to be read twice in the council officially, and then Councilman Pfeffer and Councilwoman Darwell will be reading it I will not be able to be there because I will be away, but I wanted to make sure that we did this in the council meeting. If you'd come forward, and you don't need to say your address, but if you could do.
My name is Sneetal Chopre, and I've been a resident of River Edge since the past 10 years,
Nice.
and so proud to be part of the River Edge community. It's always, been so helpful with all the activities and everything, and glad that the New Jersey government has also recognized the Indian American community contributions, and glad to receive the proclamation on behalf of the RIA community.
And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And yourself?
Hi, my name is Payal Jajal, and we just moved to River Edge in 5 years ago, actually 4 years ago, and I'm glad that I moved in this town. It's everything. I mean, I love this town and how we even celebrate our Indian festivals and how we are being included in the community. That's what I like the best about it. So
Very good.
Yeah.
So 20 years, 10 years, and almost 5.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. As a math teacher, I love the symmetry of that. Okay. All right. So, whereas the Borough of River Edge recognizes the historical importance of India's Independence Day, August 15, 1947, and when the Republic of India triumphed in its long, courageous struggle for freedom and declared independence, ending more than 2 centuries of British colonial rule. And whereas India's journey from colonial subjugation to democratic self-governance remains an enduring inspiration for the people all around the world, and its continuous progress in its education, science, healthcare, and economic development reflects the resilience and the vision of the people. Whereas August 15, 2026 marks as the 80th Independence Day of India, commemorating India's independence, celebrating the world's largest democracy, and a moment to honor the achievements of the nation, the values of freedom, justice, and pluralism it upholds. Whereas the Indian American community contributes significantly to the River Edge cultural diversity, educational excellence, and economic vitality. Whereas an Indian American community, River Edge reflects the values of inclusion through their many cultures, religious identity, including Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, Jains, and Buddhists. Whereas the Council General of India, New York, will commemorate this historic occasion by leading the flag hoisting on August 15th, followed by colorful Indian Day parades all around in New Jersey, New York, and all of the tri-state, representing the cultural diversity and vibrancy of the Indian diaspora. Whereas Bergen County is the home to nearly 35,000 Indian American residents who strengthen and enrich 70 municipalities, including River Edge, with valued history, cultural heritage, and vibrant traditions. And the Borough of River Edge joins with the people of Indian heritage across New Jersey and those around the world celebrating. And whereas the shared values of democracy and diversity form a strong bond between India and the United States and strengthen the relationship between the Borough of River Edge and its Indian American residents. And whereas on August 15, 2026, Riverdale Indian Association of River Edge celebrates its 6th annual Indian Day with parade, cultural performances, and music. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Thomas Papaleo, Mayor of River Edge, and on behalf of the Borough Council, do hereby recognize and proclaim August 15, 2026, as India Day in the Borough of River Edge, and call this observance to the attention of all the residents and the public officials of River Edge to learn, recognize, and celebrate the rich cultural heritage, history, and ongoing contributions of the Indian American community in our city, our country, our nation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Councilwoman, do you want to say a few words before let's stay here for a second? Just a few words about what this means to you as a councilwoman and as an Indian American.
So we also, Mayor, moved to River Edge. I want to break the symmetry. We
Oh.
moved here. We moved here 18 years ago.
Okay.
So closer to Jyoti. And it's been, River Edge is our home.
Yes.
It's been, I wouldn't even use the word inclusive because it came with River Edge. And that is one thing that we saw when we were looking at houses. We saw so much diversity in River Edge that we just fell in love the first day. And that's why we are here, and we call it home for last 17 years. All the three kids, Riverdale, River Edge, Cherry Hill School, so, very, very proud. Years back, there were not so many, even now, the Indian American community is not that huge, but just a few numbers. There was always a desire to have coffee or actually have the chai with Indian friends. So that sparked something inside me when I created a Riverdale Indian Association in 2017.
Nice.
And since then, we've done India Day, we've done Diwali Day.
Yes.
with the borough. We've lighted diyas. You've come to, Mayor and Council has come to many of our events. And we've done picnic for seniors. We've done several events just so our children who are here can get the taste of India.
Nice.
And there were some residents who've been living in River Edge for more than 40, 45 years.
Wow.
And they had no idea there was an Indian American community that existed. When they heard us when they heard and saw the parade in Memorial Park, they came running. That it brought tears to their eyes just for them to hear the Indian anthem on American soil. So thank you so much, River Edge residents and borough, mayor and council for being so, just making us feel more at home. Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
to all the residents, not only the Indian American community in River Edge, but in Oradell, but in just all the residents, wishing you a very happy India's Independence Day. Thank you.
All right, so could I have a motion and second to open to the public for any comment on any item, whether it's on the agenda or not?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone who would like to speak, please come forward at this time. State your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes after you are done stating your name and address. Yes, absolutely. And the mic is live.
Okay. Hi, my name is Danielle Shibuya.
A little closer, maybe.
My name is Danielle Shibuya, and I reside at 216 Adams Ave. I am here just to express concerns that I have regarding a very large and very old tree that's on my property. It is a borough right-of-way tree. I moved into the home in June of 2024. The tree is right next to a transformer, and since that time, the transformer has exploded twice in 2 years. So the first time I was away during the episode, but there was a storm, I believe a branch fell, the transformer exploded, set the tree on fire. So the tree was being monitored for a while, I'm not sure if it still is, to determine the health of the tree. During that time or shortly after, a lot of dead branches were falling onto our property. I did express my concerns to the borough through the online tree form. The DPW did come and trim the tree, remove the dead branches. But branches do continue to fall. There was another episode in June, not with our tree, but with the tree across the street that I know neighbors have been complaining about, but the tree looked healthy on the outside, came down just during a windstorm, hit the transformer again. The transformer exploded. There was oil all over our home. County hazmat had to come, removed our shrubbery, had to power wash our home. And that tree did look healthy, but then the whole core of the tree, the trunk was all rotted out. And I am concerned because there continue to be dead branches that fall from our tree. It's in very close proximity to that transformer, to our home, to our neighbors, and also to the sewer. So every time this is happening, that oil is going into the sewer. And I feel like besides a safety concern, it seems to be an environmental concern as well. So my most recent, the most recent time I reached out to the borough was in June. I sent an email. Mr. Eric Phillips responded right away. He did come, he looked at the tree. He said that the town arborist would come to determine, help further determine the health of the tree. PSE&G also came that same week in June. And what they said to me was that because of the age of the tree, it's like a natural process that the branches are going to continue to die and fall because it's a very old tree. So based even on that alone, it seems to me like it is a safety hazard. I have 2 young children that are playing in the yard. I'm worried about the branches falling. I'm worried about the tree possibly falling at some point. And I'm worried about the fact that it's in such close proximity to that transformer right by our home.
Okay.
So.
All right. So our process is we allow everyone to speak, then we close, and we may or may not respond to different things, but certainly we will follow up.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Anyone else present here? Please state your name and address, and your 3 minutes will begin after you've done that.
Danny Radicasta, and I live at 215 Adams Avenue, right on the opposite side of the street.
Yeah.
2 of the town trees have caused over $15,000 damage, once to my house and most recently to the car, and that's the one that hit the transformer. My family and the neighbor and the previous neighbor asked the town to take down that tree. If you take a look at the base of it, it's rotted. That's why we wanted to take it down. So of course, you wouldn't do it, and then it fell on my car. That was $4,000 worth of damage. The tree in front of my house fell on my house. That was over $10,000 worth of damage. And I asked the town to take it down before that occurred. And what it really boggles my mind is it ruined the sidewalk. And then I was told I was responsible to fix the sidewalk unless the town could put another tree in its place. And I refused to do it. Why should I put another tree? If you look at the tree diagonally from the house, from mine, the tree grew that they've replaced at that house is like this, and it's right through the wires. I don't want their tree to go on my house and cause more damage.
We have his address, right?
215.
Okay. Does he have more time?
Yeah.
You have a minute and a half if you want to say anything else.
No, it's that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else would like to come forward and speak on any topic? Anyone remotely? Oh, we have someone here. Would you check remotely, see if there's anyone? If you're remote, please raise your hand and please come forward, sir. Please state your name and address.
Sorry, David Ashley, 453 The Fenway.
453 The Fenway. Go ahead, David.
All right,
Mr. Ashley.
there's a new building that's being constructed next door at 457. They put a fence up, and there are a couple of issues. One, the survey, or at least the survey post put in the ground, is 1.5 inches from my fence. My survey shows that my fence is 5 inches, 5 inches back from my property. From their post, the fence extends 3 inches. So it's not in compliance. I had the building department come out 3 times. Art came and inspected it, said he would discuss with the owners. The owners said they weren't interested in doing anything. So I did meet with Nicole today at the office. She said she would reach out to the owners to see if she could do some mitigation. But I'm up to the point where when is the town going to enforce violation? Now, Art, when he was over, also informed me that the fence is raised 6 inches above the ground, making that fence 6'6" high. There's no way they're going to do a 4-inch fill and 2 inches of sod. So the fence is totally not in compliance. This has been 3.5 weeks I've been.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit frustrated. I do trust Nicole, but I want to bring this up right now. So I don't have to, because at this point right now, I went there and I'm ready to take legal action. I did agree with Nicole that I wouldn't do anything until Wednesday and give her the opportunity, but I've been quite frustrated. I didn't send you an email on Monday.
I did call you back, but I got, I think your mailbox was full if I
I
remember.
generally don't take voicemails, but I appreciate your call back.
Yeah.
All right, so, I mean, that's my story at this point right now.
Yeah.
But but by Wednesday, I am going to be taking legal action, and I really shouldn't have to do this. The town should be enforcing code. I mean, I have pictures if anybody wants to see. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's clear, it's clear cut. I mean, I have my survey with me, 1.5 inches of my fence. My survey says I have a 5-inch setback. You can see it's 3 inches from the center of their post to their fence, which goes beyond the stake that the builder did. So I'm sure they did not do it intentionally. I'm sure it's the fence builder that did this. However, I'm not responsible. I already have weeds growing in between the fences, which now only have a 2-inch spacing. So there's no way I could care for them.
Yeah.
So you should be having 12 inches apart.
Yes. 20 seconds, anything else you want to say?
Nothing else I really need to say,
It's good to put it on the record.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
All right, thank the council for the help.
Anyone remote?
I don't think so, Mayor.
Anyone else would like to speak? No? All right, could I have a motion and second to close to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ms. Apratella, I think you have some information at least about one of the concerns that was brought up tonight?
Yes, regarding 216 Adams Avenue, our tree foreman and DPW superintendent did evaluate the tree, and they have reached out to our licensed tree expert. Licensed tree experts are in high demand with all these storms. So, and this is vacation time, but Eric will follow up with our licensed tree expert and have him come and evaluate the tree at your property. And so Eric will be in touch with you, either Eric or Jason.
And why don't we also, while the licensed tree inspector is there, make sure the other
Yes.
property is also evaluated by the licensed tree inspector?
Yes.
We have that address?
Oh, it's
Not in front of my house anymore.
Oh, so you don't have any trees, it's just that you're concerned about their tree? Ah, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get it now.
You
Okay.
can see it in Google Maps. I just saw it. It's growing like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the process for right now. Okay. And
The gentleman left.
the gentleman left. Okay. Anything else from any member of council comment about something?
How will that fence issue get addressed? What's the process for
So
that?
I reached out when he sent me an email. Whenever somebody does that, I first reach out to the departments, try to get some information before I call the resident back. I did call him back, but it went to voicemail. If I understand it correctly, and I'm not an expert, because there is a building permit, the borough cannot fine the individual until the permit is finalized. And then the survey will determine the actual distance from the property line. So when you complete the work and you close out the permit, that's when our jurisdiction. But it's really about one private, so the fence itself, if it is non-compliant, we would then either fine or we would take any action that is appropriate and required by law. But right now, it's my understanding that we do not have jurisdiction. Is that essentially correct?
Mayor, are you, sorry, there we go. Are you talking about the height issue that he mentioned?
The height and its proximity to the property line.
The property line issue is generally not something that is enforced by the municipality. In other words, when you put your application in for a fence, you have to submit your survey, it's reviewed. If the application that you put in and the design you put in is approved, generally zoning officers don't go out and look to make sure that it's right on the property line. That's a civil matter that's usually just engaged in between residents. In my 30 years, I've never seen a construction official or zoning officer ever intervene in a fight other than in the way that the gentleman indicated, which is that, you know, you'll try to have a conversation and say, look, you're gonna lose this, you're wrong, if they sue you, and then they have to go to court. And
What about the height issue?
the height issue is different, because I think that goes to the permit itself, which is the permit says that there's a regulation, a fence can only be 6 feet. If it's above the 6 foot issue, you could tell them that that's in violation, and you could then, again, fine them, as you said, or require them to take it down.
Okay. So I think that, Councilman Pfeffer, anything else?
Yeah, so he mentioned Nicole. I mean, the question in my mind is, what's the follow-up with that gentleman so that he knows?
So Nicole is currently following up.
Okay.
I got my information from Nicole,
Okay.
but I didn't realize that there was a distinction between the two pieces. So, and that's what our attorney has.
Yeah, the only time that normally you see something beyond what I talked about is if the fence violates like the site triangle, or it's in a public right of way or something like that, if they build it, because then it becomes an issue of safety or an issue of, you know, the public or the borough's property.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All right. All right, we have appointments and personnel changes. There is an update. I don't know if it's not on electronic, right?
No.
But it is, it's in paper. So there are 3 appointment and personnel changes. I'm going to read all 3 into the record, and then if I could have a motion and second to approve them. First, I'll read them into the record. Approve the resignation of Daniel Suarez, part-time police dispatcher, effective July 9, 2026. Approve the resignation of Diego Yepes, laborer in Department of Public Works, effective August 7, 2026. Approve the resignation of Peter Stitz, mechanic in the Department of Public Works, effective August 2026.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, monthly reports. There is a fire prevention report and tax collector report, one from June, one from July respectively. They're available from the clerk's office for the public if they wish to see them. First reading, ordinance. A motion that the following ordinance be introduced and passed at the first reading and setting September 10th, 2026 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as the matter can be heard, as the date and time, and the council chambers as the place, and Zoom as the virtual platform for a hearing on same said ordinance. I'm going to read all 3 into the record, then I believe we can move them together because this is the first reading. Okay, ordinance 26-11, an ordinance to amend Chapter 122 of the revised general ordinance of the Borough of River Edge entitled Animals. Ordinance 26-12, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinance of the Borough of River Edge, Chapter 400 Vehicles and Traffic. Ordinance 26-13, an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinance of the Borough of River Edge, Chapter 192 Drug-Free Zones. May I have a motion and second?
So moved. Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Could now that they've been moved, could I have the BA, please, Ms. Apatella, explain what we're hoping to achieve through these 3 ordinances?
Absolutely. Ordinance 26-11 regulates the quantity of cats or dogs permitted in a household, prohibits the feeding, maintenance, and harboring of stray cats, and adds an article regarding the feeding of birds. 26-12 implements numerous regulations concerning the overnight parking of covered vehicles, overnight parking of trailers, utility trailers, recreational vehicles and campers, prohibits the operation of motor vehicles on public property and non-paved services, and updates streets where parking is prohibited, streets with limited time parking, and streets with no stopping or standing. And lastly, 26-13 updates the intersections designated as a school crossing where there is a crossing guard at that post.
Okay, now I believe that the Health Department made the request for 2611. I think the Police Department made the request for 2612, and to resolve issues for both those departments. 2013, I think that was also the Police Department?
That is correct.
Okay, and does 2613 deal with permit parking between, I didn't see that, but that's not what the Police Department came in. Okay.
No, that's still.
That's still pending.
That's still pending.
The only reason I ask is because I have to recuse myself from the chair if those are going to be voted on. Okay, Any member of council, question, comment, concern?
I have a question on 2611. I think it's for John, and because I'm not too sharp. It says, no more than a total of 6 cats or dogs of licensing age shall be kept. So if someone has 6 cats and 6 dogs, are they in compliance? I don't know what that "or" means. I'm getting hung up on that. No more than a total of 6 cats or 6 dogs. I mean, you could have 6 cats and 6 dogs. You can have 6 cats or 6 dogs.
It says a total, doesn't it?
A total of 6 cats.
Or dog.
Or dog.
So I think what we mean is you can't have more than 6 pets, right?
A total of 6 cats or dogs.
Total. So I don't know if it
Total
says that.
6. What?
Total of 6.
It does say
I mean,
that?
no, I'm jumping in only because I was at the meeting of the health department when they
Oh,
were
excellent.
discussing this.
Please
Yeah,
do.
so the idea was to limit the number of 6, but you didn't want to say pets because that includes other things.
That's not my question, though. My question's about the language.
No,
Yeah,
I read it, that it says, sorry, it says it's
Is it
a
the
total,
right-
a total of 6 cats or dogs.
Good.
That's how I say, thank you.
Is that the right language, though? The-
Are you
Grammatically,
saying
it's
it should
correct.
be six cats and dogs as opposed to or dogs?
I mean, I
No,
don't-
because it
I
starts
mean,
with total.
It's
And
not
it would be
explicit.
conjunctive, and then it would be
Yeah,
12.
I think it could be more explicit. It could say a combination of cats and the total number of cats and dogs
Can be no more than
shall not
6.
be. Yeah, that's what
It shouldn't say no more, it should say the total of number of cats.
You're much
And
better
or
than I
dogs.
am, but you know what I mean. I think it's a little ambiguous. I'm not a lawyer, but I think the language is a little ambiguous.
You know, the other way to say it, yeah,
What?
I just read.
yeah, John, the other way to say it could be, if you really want to be very explicit about it, no more than 6 dogs and no more than 6 cats shall be permitted in any
No,
No,
apartment.
That's 12.
That would be grammatically, that would be
Combined,
Is that right?
I
combined
think the way-
total of cats and
Yeah,
dogs shall not
I think what it
exceed
should say,
6.
instead of starting with no more than a total, I would just say no household shall have a total of more than 6 cats or dogs.
So
Because-
then can you have 3 cats and 3 dogs?
Yes, yes. You can have 6 pets.
I would say the combined total of cats and dogs shall not exceed 6. That's what I would
Say
say.
that's it.
I think that's crystal.
So just put a bracket across cats and dogs.
That's why we write
So,
laws and regs,
how
that
are
the
we-
lawyers can interpret them.
So can we change it here and now without having to reintroduce it since it has been voted on?
I believe you can, because this
That's what I
change is
thought
de
so.
minimis, it's just a language change to make it more clear, it's not changing the intent or the tone of the ordinance.
Councilman Glass, would you make a motion?
I move that we change the language to the total combined number of cats and dogs shall not exceed 6. But I defer to our attorney if there's better language.
I'm comfortable with that language, but we have to make sure that it says of licensing age.
Yes.
Because they can't be, that's because you can't license an animal
Yeah,
until it
like,
reaches
well,
the shot
puppies, yeah.
level.
If someone has a litter,
Right.
Okay, so there's going to be several votes. Robert's Rules does have jurisdiction over this. So it has been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. It is open for debate, discussion, or amendment. This is an amendment on the original ordinance. Hearing none, you are voting to amend, not to approve. All those, I'm sorry. Madam Deputy Clerk, would you please call the roll call?
Council President Kinsella?
Sure, yes.
Councilwoman Mallari?
Yes.
Councilman Glass?
yes.
Councilwoman Berrywall?
Yes.
Councilman Pfeffer?
Yes.
Okay, now we're back to the main motion as amended. Is there debate, discussion, commentary, or question?
I have a question, not on that part. You were at the meeting, Bruce, so can you kind of give us a synopsis of the feeding of the birds? Where did that come from? Like,
Yeah, the concern there is that the feeding of the birds attracts other birds. The feeding of the birds attracts other animals besides just birds, right? Because there's I mean, you
Field
could
mice
look,
and, yeah.
well, yeah, there are animals that pick up the crumbs that are left over by the birds, but there are also predators that come for the birds. So there's a concern about, it doesn't mean you can't have a bird feeder. There's restrictions on bird feeders already, but that was the intent behind this, this proposal.
Got it, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
I can also add to that, that there has been over the years situations where rats have begun to congregate underneath the, wherever the feeding is.
Got it, okay.
And so it draws them to.
Also, I'm seeing like more and more pigeons around. I'm not a big fan.
I have two questions.
Sure.
One is that the bird feeders, it says that even in the public parks, we're not allowed to, nobody's allowed to throw. So would there be, not everybody is familiar with the new ordinance. Would there be a sign saying no feeding birds?
I don't know if that's going to happen. Our police department uses, and so does our code enforcer, and all of our departments use, you know, how should I'm forgetting the actual legal, not legal term, the common term, but it's a citizen-friendly process where there's always a warning, unless someone is grossly trying.
Because it says $1,000 for the first offense.
Yes, but up to.
No
So,
more than $1,000, it doesn't say.
Right. No more.
but you can only put up so many signs. And that doesn't preclude, Mr. Shedanian, I believe that the law states that we don't need to have signage everywhere for the law to be enforced.
Oh, absolutely. And the first thing they teach you in law school is that ignorance of the law is not a defense. You know, the fact
No
that you don't know
excuse.
what the speed limit is and you're going over the speed limit doesn't mean because there's no, like, you can't argue there was no sign. So, we do those signs generally for educational purposes, to let people be aware. So, I think it would be up to the borough to decide what we want to put signage up for.
And the term I was looking for is called the community model. We use a community model policing and community policing model, and it's very effective, and so do all of our others. We treat the residents as if they're customers, and we try to treat them as fairly as possible. In addition to that, any fine or anything else would have to go before the municipal judge, and the municipal judge also there'd be an expectation that the law is enforced fairly and reasonably.
And I'm presuming the bird sanctuary would be excluded. There is a bird sanctuary in River Edge.
I don't think that that's true. I don't think this ordinance is carving out an exemption for throwing food on the ground for the birds, which is essentially what this is, unless I'm wrong. I didn't see it in the language. Mr. Shedanian?
Yeah, I didn't see any mention of the bird sanctuary when I reviewed this. It simply states that you cannot feed, and it says specifically, it's waterfowl, songbirds, pigeons, and other backyard birds.
Backyard birds.
So I'm not sure if there's a bird sanctuary, if any of them fall within that.
I don't think there's a bird sanctuary in any backyard.
Definitely not.
Well,
Well,
there is an actual bird sanctuary,
Where?
designated bird sanctuary on near Coles Court. It says bird sanctuary, it's been designated, there is a sign.
It was designated by the borough, by the county?
It was, I think, by Boy Scout
They can't
troops or Girl
designate.
Scout troops, but
They don't have the
but they have a
authority.
whole sign. I mean, I'm sure they took a permit to put that sign that it's called. People know there's a bird sanctuary there.
I don't know whether they were, when Eagle Scouts do projects, we do let them put up signage, but that signage doesn't carry the weight of law. And it's normally just to designate the area, you know, to encourage people to come and enjoy it. It doesn't, I don't think it carries the weight of law.
that's an accurate statement, I think, but I would, do you know, Councilwoman Darwell, where that is, where that's located?
Off of Valley Road, when you go towards Eastbrook. It's right there on the left. Many of the scouts actually go for cleanups, and they call it's a bird sanctuary. We're going to the bird sanctuary for cleanups.
So they can call it whatever they like. That doesn't necessarily mean it has the weight of law. Why don't we have someone look into that and get back to Councilwoman Darwell? And Councilwoman Darwell, if you have concerns, we can always do another amendment if we need to do so. but
No, I'm just
I've
bringing
been-
it to attention that,
Yeah,
you know, I mean, it is.
I've only been here
People go
16 years,
there.
but I don't remember us ever designating a bird sanctuary.
I mean, I think, Mayor, you said that, and I think my sense is that if someone did violate this ordinance after it's assuming it gets adopted, the combination of common sense, from the police department and the court would probably reign in terms of, they would probably get a warning, first to say, hey, we're not allowed to feed birds, even in the bird sanctuary. But that, don't do it again. And then if they decided to do it again in the face of having heard that, I assume maybe if they got a violation or summons, then they go before the judge, and the judge that would be a case that the judge would have to make that decision as to what's reasonable.
But if you feel that that's grounds enough to vote no today, you can do that too. Any other questions? Did we
Yeah,
cover any
one
questions?
more. About the cats and the dogs and the having the number of pets. What if somebody already owns more than that? Then what are they doing on
It's
that?
their
I don't know.
grandfathered out. It
Yeah.
says
Yeah,
that.
it's grandfather.
It says that.
Just like the keeping the pigeon, keeping the.
Yeah, it's in the documents that were sent to you prior to the meeting.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions about
I do
this?
have one thing.
About any of the ordinance, because we're moving all
Yeah.
three together.
Yeah, just real quick. Okay. I don't know the answer to this, maybe Borough Administrator knows. I like this vehicle and traffic, the changes to the vehicle and traffic chapter. I have a question though, you might not know the answer. I don't want to hold anything up. But really quick, it talks about covered vehicles without tags and how that needs to be regulated, which I think is great. It doesn't say anything about vehicles without plates that are not covered and left on the street. So the answer to that might be.
I think there's already
It's already
ordinance.
covered, okay.
Yeah, it
It's
is already covered,
okay.
yeah, by both state law.
I
and
didn't
think
go
local
back
too.
and read okay. Thank you.
Any other question, comment? Amendment? Hearing none. I call the question. Madam Deputy Clerk, please.
Council President Kinsella?
Oh, wait, one last thing. Is there any objection to moving all three as one?
No.
Hearing none, please proceed.
Council President Kinsella?
Yes, right?
Councilwoman Mallari?
Yes.
Councilman Glass?
Yes.
Councilwoman Berrywall?
Yes.
Councilman Pfeffer?
Yes.
For the public's understanding, this is not approving a law. This is simply the first step in the process. At the next public meeting of the mayor and council, it will come up again. At that time, there will be, we will open for public comments, and at that time, it will, after the public comments, there will be, if necessary, debate and approval or disapproval of the ordinances currently presented. Any other questions? All right, let's go move to resolutions. We're going to move the entire group, but we will read into, wait, is there not a finance?
Yeah, it's in the next one.
Oh, it's way at the top, and I didn't see it. Okay. We will only read into the record 26-223 for transparency's sake, but we are moving all of them. Could I have a motion second to move 26-204 through 26-223 with the exemption of 214, which has already been moved and approved?
So moved.
Second.
Is there debate, comment, or inquiry?
I have a question.
Yeah.
The 26-216, is that the same as the one that's number B that's going to be discussed at new business?
No.
Okay.
Hearing none, could I ask one member of the Finance Committee to read?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Real quick, 220, the position descriptions. I thought there was a law now, I don't know if it's in New Jersey, I know it's in New York. You have to provide a salary range.
No, that's when you're doing solicitation for help wanted at. You have to provide salary. range.
Isn't that what these position descriptions are going to be used for soliciting employees?
That is
For
for,
recruiting?
well, when the ad goes up, even if it's internal, it will reference the
Yeah.
approved job description. But the body of the ad will have the salary range.
Okay.
That is a law in New Jersey too.
It was, okay, yeah, okay.
Any other questions? If one member of the Finance Budget Committee can please read into the record 22-3.
Thank you, Mayor. At a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, held on August 13, 2026, be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the Borough of River Edge approve the following expenditures. Current fund, $9,039,875.90. General Capital Fund, $16,378.80. Grant Fund, $11,831. Animal Control, $450.60. Trust Other, $63,848.63. Open Space, $74,662.20. Payroll, $24,845.22. Developers Agreement, $3,520.25. Recreation Trust, $20,689.99.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second. We're moving all the resolutions, though we've read into the record 223. Could I now have a polling of the council, please? I call for the vote.
Council President Kinsella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mallari?
Yes.
Councilman Glass?
Yes.
Councilwoman Derrywall?
Yes, but I would like to abstain myself for all bills and everything pertaining to Recreation Department.
Councilman Pfeffer?
Yes.
All right, that is unanimous then. New business, we have Junior Women's Club sign request and the Demarest Place Street closure request.
Yes, with the sign request, the Junior Women's Club of River Edge is, they're holding a River Edge Color Fun Run, and they are looking for permission to place 2 lawn signs at Veterans Memorial Park and 1 at Brookside Park. So while the special event was approved, the placement of signs requires governing body to review and determine whether they approve the request.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
Have we seen the signs that they're asking to post?
It's on the link.
Oh, okay, didn't see it.
How big?
Oh, you're saying how big?
Yeah.
They're saying they're lawn signs.
Lawn signs, so they're not gonna be, it's gonna be like the
Yeah.
2 by
farmer's
3,
market signs.
basically. I would assume. Do you want to hold off until they send us a copy of the signs? We can do that if that's what you wish.
Well,
We have the,
It's
Yeah.
there, it's in the link.
We do, yes. I'm sorry.
yeah, if we have it already, that's fine. I guess is it time for questions?
Yeah.
Okay. My question is just, what are the guidelines for something like this? I'm not against it, but we could have organizations that ask to post signs that, do we have any pre-screening of it? Do we make sure that it's consistent with, the size? Are there size requirements? That kind of thing, just to make sure that we don't run into a situation where somebody's suddenly posting a sign that we approved, but we didn't really.
So what we
Check it
almost
out.
always request, and it's certainly happened in the previous, and I think you've been here when we've said we need a copy of the sign before we make the approval, and we deal with it on a case-by-case basis. But to my knowledge, we've really only, pretty much over the 16 years, only been dealing with signs that have always been a part of, every sign has to come before us every year, because every year we have a new council. Even if the same people are elected, it's considered by law a new body. So essentially, we have a running list of signs that come up, like the farmer's market and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's, Lizette, would you did I characterize that correctly as our process?
Yes, that is correct. And we put a resolution on at the reorg for events that we do know of, like
Fourth of
the River Edge
July.
Run, 4th of July. And then as events happen, organizations do reach out to us, like Historic Newbridge Landing for Barron Fest.
And pretty much our process is that we really only allow this for organizations that are recognized within the town.
Yes, they're all River Edge organizations.
So, but that's the custom, right? That's not.
We've never
required.
formally created a policy, but of course, we could do that if you want to make that motion.
I'm
The
just-
council wants to second that, and then it would require a vote, and then we would create an ad hoc committee to try to develop a process or a policy process.
I mean, I think we probably should, because there's going to come a time when somebody's going to come forward with a sign that either some or all of the council doesn't like. And then how do we decide? You know, if we're deciding on a case-by-case basis, then there's really no
Well, there's been
guidelines.
past practice that they'd have to be a recognized River Edge group. If they're not, we don't even consider it.
Okay.
But I think what you're saying makes sense. Do you want to make that motion? You only have to say so moved.
I'm thinking about it.
Do you want to
Sure.
think about it and bring it back up? It can, why
Yeah,
don't we put it on
let's
for
give
old
it some,
business?
some thought.
Can we put it up?
Because you're gonna have to lead it.
Sorry, where are the signs getting?
That's what I'm worried about.
Where are the signs getting put?
In the park, Veterans Memorial Park, to a Memorial Park, one in Brookside.
So I hear Councilman Pfeffer's concern. What if, I'm just throwing it out there, there were signs that were done by the Indian Community Association saying, wish you a very happy Diwali, and they had like they're celebrating Diwali on this. Would we allow, it's an organization in town, we wouldn't allow something like that? Then,
So-
there should be something in place.
Yes, but there, and our borough attorney can correct me if I say any of this incorrectly. There is also another concern I've talked to our previous police chief and our current police chief, and their policy is essentially the same. There are signs that fall under First Amendment free speech. And if they are that, then we just permit them. And if they get out of hand, we can take some action. There was an incident, for instance, in a house in Hackensack with a homeowner putting a sign up in front of their house that did go to litigation. The courts have opined on it, and it's usually a case-by-case basis. And so there are cultural signs, which we use that word loosely, and there are free speech signs. And so, it becomes problematic for the police department to deny a free speech sign. So that have to be looked at separately, and that would be something that Councilman Pfeffer's group would be looking at.
It's my group now.
If we get a second. And then, of course, we can debate it. Is there a second?
Yes.
Wait, did I make a motion?
You did. Didn't you? Oh, you didn't? I thought you did.
No, he didn't.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
I was gonna think, I was thinking about it.
To
but
hold it
maybe-
around for the next.
Maybe you read my mind.
That's right.
Can you clearly articulate your motion?
Well, that's why.
No. He wants to hold off, and we'll put it on
okay,
old
okay.
business at the next meeting.
Yes.
And maybe want to talk to, you want Councilman Glass to talk to the chief about it, because we have a liaison system that's been established, so the liaisons are the ones who talk to the department heads.
Yeah, let me ponder it. We have a little time. Nothing really is on the table specifically, but this is just preventive so that we don't have a crisis in the future.
And do think about what you're actually asking for, what policy you're asking for.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
right now, it's just, my feeling is we need to have some guidelines, because to say, well, I mean, even what you're saying now is going to create problems, because is it a free speech issue, or is it, what was a cultural issue?
Well, I think, hold
Yeah,
on,
go ahead, Dave.
Hold on. We're talking about, so these are two separate issues.
They are two separate issues.
There's what people put on their front lawn, and
Yeah.
then this is talking about public spaces.
Right.
Yep.
These people want permission to put a sign up.
Yeah,
in
that's exactly
public
right.
space.
Right.
So it's two totally different things.
Yeah, but when Councilwoman brought up the Diwali thing, that brought up signs that would end up on people's front lawns.
Okay.
So that's why I didn't mean to conflate the two issues.
Okay.
And then, of course, there are signs that do end up sometimes on public property, and then that becomes problematic.
Sure.
And we see this during election times when county or state or federal elections come up, and they start putting them in the boroughs right away.
Yes. Oh, okay. By the way, the Junior Women's Club is a great organization. Just let it.
Oh, they are.
Yes, they are.
They do great work. So, is there a motion and second to approve the Junior Women's Club sign request?
So moved.
Second.
Is there further debate? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
More new business.
No, yes, there's Demarest Place?
Yeah, so Anne Marie received this request seeking to, for a street closure for an event, for a wedding. And if you see in the backup, there's a lot of back and forth that it's not a block party like the ones that we approved, well, not me, but the governing body approved in the consent agenda via resolution. This is a different type, it's a private event, but they're looking to close the street. And they, the requester said that she did speak to her neighbors and they were okay with it. So once that confirmation was received, it doesn't fall under the block party procedure and it doesn't fall under the special events procedure. But Anne Marie spoke with the chief and he stated that he didn't have any concerns on approving it, but will, if this should occur again, the borough will need to be cautious moving forward with this type of request. This is a small block with only 2 residents facing the street, and he's concerned if a request comes down the pike where it's a much larger area.
I don't know how the council feels about this, but in general, I think it's good that we have a policy or practice where we ask for some sort of documentation that every member of the block has agreed to this closure. And without that, I personally don't think the council should approve it, because if you say someone on Voorhees or Manning, or for that matter, Bogart or Fifth said, well, I'd like to have the same privilege granted to me, and everyone who would be affected has agreed, well, that's nice, but we don't have any evidence that everyone who would be affected has agreed.
Question, how do we do it for block parties? If somebody I realize this is different, but just using that as sort of a guide.
Is that, how do we do it?
Can I answer?
Anne Marie can
I
answer
can,
that.
and even I can answer to that because I took.
So
Okay.
Anne-Marie, please, mic to you.
they'll email me, they'll tell me if there's gonna be alcohol, how many people, has their neighbors been notified? They need to put in writing that their neighbors have been notified. Then I send it to the chief and he reviews it, and then we submit it to here.
And what happens if somebody on the block objects to it?
Then, I mean, I haven't
don't think that's gonna
personally.
happen.
Kick 'em
Yeah,
off
it
the
hasn't.
It doesn't happen.
Usually
Or it hasn't
when they-
happened.
Usually when they request, they have already spoken to their neighbors on the block,
Okay.
usually.
I mean, forgive me for always thinking of the worst case scenario.
You're so
That's
negative,
what I
Bruce.
do.
Oh my gosh.
I know,
You
I'm such
are.
a downer.
And now you're a council person, you should be thinking about that too, because we always want to protect our liability and our residents. We can certainly, and this committee, if it occurs, can offer suggestions
I'm
to,
digging a hole here myself.
because it can be a resolution, or we might even craft an ordinance about this. I mean, ultimately, if we're closing the right of way, we should have more protections instead of less.
Yeah, but in general, if you're, as our block does, when we had
Been
it,
a while.
it's been a long while, but like, she went to everyone's house, everybody said yes.
Yeah.
Submitted the paperwork, and that was it.
Yeah, no,
So
I'm not
if-
disagreeing with that.
Okay.
I'm just
I think-
simply saying it's not wrong for Councilman Glass to look into maybe creating a better practice for this council and future bodies, if he wants to do that.
I just got voluntold.
It's just more bureaucracy stuff, so it's like,
Well, it's interesting because I was recently interviewed by a 9-year-old for 2 different 9-year-olds. There seems to be a Paramus summer camp that wanted to interview an elected official, and one of the 9-year-olds was very upset about the new electrified bicycles, e-bikes ordinance, and I had to explain to him that, the government creates laws usually based on abuses. People are abusing a privilege and inconveniencing or injuring their neighbors, and that's good law, in my opinion. So we have not yet had an injury or a complaint, but that doesn't mean, and that goes to your point, creating more bureaucracy, but we can also be proactive sometimes. I mean, the ordinance we have, the ordinance about animals in the police department, that's because we've had problems. So that's why we've created the police department, the health department. asked us to create these ordinances because people have abused the privilege that, against their neighbors. And so we need to create some, because if you're throwing food down and it's attracting rats or foxes or pigeons, for those who hate pigeons, you know, you're, you know, we live in a community. So, no, I get what you're saying. But right now, we don't have any motions on the floor, so until we have an emotion, it's not really happening.
Just saying.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Cool. Everybody, are there any emotions before we move on to, I'm going to add a C.
Wait, did we vote on this?
Oh, the Demers,
We did
yes,
not,
yes. My recommendation to the council would be not to vote on it until we know that all the, whether, if there, have you received documentation that everyone is in agreement?
They wrote that, they spoke to all of them and they all agreed.
The two neighbors.
Yeah, the two neighbors.
And our current process is that if they've put in writing that everyone's agreed, then that's, well, that's our current process. So it can, if the council wishes, we can have a motion second to approve.
I'm so moved.
So moved, Councilwoman, Council President, and is there a second?
What?
The Demers Place street closure request. Are we going to approve that or not? Council President has moved to approve. We need a second? If there's no second, then the motion fails.
Second.
There is a second. It is open for debate. Is there debate? Hearing none. This would be usually by acclamation. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, it is unanimous. Okay, so I've sent you, the chief sent a follow-up request about promotions and we're moving hirings and we're going to move forward with that. The business administrator will be asking the council to get their schedules out and please give us as many dates as possible because the chief has to coordinate with the police department and the applicants. But in addition to that, there was a new request, or I believe it's a new request. David, you might want to speak to that. The gym.
Yeah.
And I personally, you all have a copy of that letter. I sent it to you earlier this evening. It originally only came to myself, the
It's an
council
email,
president.
right?
Yeah, email. It's going to come up. And also there's a request about capital funding, which the council has already kind of begun to consider. We have a general consensus. We're going to move that whole discussion to an open, because it has to go to an open meeting, and that's why I'm mentioning it now, so the public has prior notice, to when we do the interviews. So by law, to do interviews, we have to have open to the public, and then we go into closed session to do the interviews. And that normally is, opening the public is normally 2 to 3 minutes at the most. We just have to read, the basic beginning parts. So what we're going to do is add that to the meeting. That'll be like a 5-10 minute meeting, I assume, where the council can then authorize budget funding changes and other things that would come before, and the public would have notice, and if they wish to speak to that, they can. Please give as many dates, and it's going to be 7 p.m., somewhere in the next 3 weeks. And so let's see if we can't, with the exception of the land use board meeting night.
Okay.
So please, in that meeting, I believe 2 interviewees are coming up.
Yes.
So that meeting will probably be 15 to 30 minutes per interviewee, and then a discussion afterwards. So I would assume the meeting would move from 7 to about 8:30-ish for planning purposes when you look at your schedules. So that's new business.
Mayor, can I ask a question on
Sure.
this? Why are we down 3 police officers? It's the first time that I'm learning of it,
So
David?
resignations,
2.
2
We had 2.
resignations. Actually, one person still overseas.
And that's the third.
But we're only replacing 2 because that person overseas still retains their
Okay.
position with the
But
borough.
it's a great question because they are short-staffed. I think we have 23 positions for the department, and
Is
they're
that the
down to-
roster 23? Was
They're,
it?
they're literally down to 20. If you see like around town with PSE&G, that you see
Alpine,
Alpine, yeah,
yeah.
you see Param. They're really short-staffed, so I.
Well, let's just be, for the sake of the public
Well,
listening, the outside duty detail is not the police, is not the responsibility of the police force of River Edge. And every
Right, but
town
it
has
affects-
outside people coming in.
Yeah, it affects, their hours in the day.
It does, absolutely.
But
just so the public doesn't misinterpret that.
Thank you, Mayor. And that was excellent, everything, the prelude to this. But I do want to mention that there is some urgency here. They have two candidates and, they're up for grabs. So
Well, I was on the
think
phone
we
with
wanna-
the
we wanna
chief
get
twice
this-
tonight.
If I may?
Yeah, go ahead.
We want to get this meeting scheduled sooner rather than later, like the mayor said, so that we don't lose these two potential candidates. They already screened like dozens, if not 100 candidates. So we kind of want to get this on the calendar, like the mayor was suggesting, so that we can, if appropriate and everyone agrees, move forward with this before we lose and they have to go to a different process or find different candidates.
Yeah, I think we're going to be looking at next week, to be very honest with you, if possible, if not the week after that, Monday through Thursday, because
No, because they have to give 48-hour notice for the
that would
meeting.
still be, that wouldn't be Monday, then it would be like Wednesday?
Yeah,
So starting Wednesday of next week, working through the end of the month, but, so please offer as many possible dates as possible, as Councilman said, because we have always wanted to expedite this, and we want to make sure that this happens as quickly as possible.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay? Old business.
Oh, we were still on new business.
Oh, okay, yes, you have new business.
River Edge 250 committee has come up with a photography contest, and which is open to all the River Edge residents. So show off River Edge. There is a chance to win a $50 gift card sponsored by PBA, and 4 age categories in that: youth 12 to 17, young adults 18 to 29, adults 30 to 59, and senior 60 plus. All you need to do is any photo you've taken in the past 1 year in River Edge, like anything, even a borough meeting, borough buildings, any people, any cultural events, anything, any landscape, just digitally upload to the email address provided on the flyer. The flyer is there on Mayor's page, and will also be probably circulated through the recreation. So thank you. Please enjoy the contest that's coming. And there would be a special showcase between August 31st to September 7th, highlighting the local photographers in town. So if you happen to be a local photographer, the committee contacted as many as they knew in River Edge. Some of them contacted us back. So there are 5 or 6 who would be displaying their work, just to inspire others in town. And if you are a local photographer, please just contact one of the committee members or contact the borough, and they will give you more information. Any selected entries, there are 3 judges would be displayed at the River Edge Library between August 31st through August 10th. Winners would be announced by Mayor on the River Edge Day, October 4th.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else for old business or council comments?
I have a council comment. I think Councilman Pfeffer might have something too.
Same thing?
No.
Oh, okay, you go.
All right,
You go
real
first.
quick. So I just we want to recognize the outstanding service of Officer Duran. We received this from Chief Walker through Lieutenant Abadi. I'm just going to read it to you so there can be some awareness and recognition of Officer Duran's exceptional service. So this comes from Lieutenant Abadi. I would like to recognize P.O. Duran for going above and beyond in assisting an elderly resident who was recently the victim of a financial fraud involving approximately $14,000. Following the initial investigation, P.O. Duran took it upon himself to return to the victim's residence to
Dave, could I
provide.
interrupt for a second? Just because
Yeah.
we're reading this to the record for the public, please don't use abbreviations, PO, police officer, so the people might be
I
wondering.
think I
what
said
PO
Officer Duran at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, only because the public then doesn't get it.
Following the initial investigation, Police Officer
Thanks. I
Duran
appreciate it.
took it upon himself to return to the victim's residence to provide additional assistance. Recognizing that she lives alone and was having difficulty navigating the steps necessary to protect her finances, he spent time with her making calls to her banks and financial advisor and helping her work through the process of securing her accounts and addressing the fraudulent transactions. While the initial police response and investigation had already been completed, Police Officer Duran recognized that this resident needed more than just a report. She needed someone willing to take the extra time to help her through an overwhelming situation. His decision to return on his own initiative demonstrated compassion, professionalism, and a genuine commitment to serving our community. Actions like these often go unnoticed, but they reflect extremely well on Police Officer Duran and the River Edge Police Department. I wanted to make sure his efforts were brought to the attention of the command staff and his sergeant, and that he received the recognition he deserves. I got to tell you guys, this stuff's happening all the time. My daughter, my 19-year-old daughter, recently got scammed, like in a scary way. So, this stuff's out there, and more importantly, what Police Officer Duran here did, like I said, and like Lieutenant Abadi expressed, deserves special recognition.
It does. It's amazing. Again, this is the community police model that we talked about. And our police officers, our police department go above and beyond for our public. And as I'm sure the councilman can attest, can agree, this happens all the time with our police officers. They go out of their way for the people of River Edge.
Very lucky.
Mayor, if I may.
Sure.
Two things. First is I wanted to congratulate and recognize again our former fire chief, Robert Schultzberg, for being our hometown hero, and also being designated as the state chief of the year. So congratulations, chief. And in the record, I wanted to read a letter that was sent by former Chief Schultzberg to Chief Sanders. Chief Sanders, if I may, I want to compliment you personally and commend you for your professionalism in battling not one, but the several working fires at one time on July 4th, going into the early morning hours of July 5th. Although I was not on scene for this horrific fire situation, and from what some in the county and around New Jersey have stated, was one of the most dangerous fires fought this past weekend, due to the amount of fire and the live electricity everywhere around and near the fire situation. You also had other challenges with the multiple working fires, as mentioned, a major active storm, other mutual aid fire companies handling their own emergencies as well. Let me also state a holiday with lower than normal attendance available by most of the fire departments. Taking all that into account, you were professional, calm, and handled everything so well. The orders given by you kept other homes safe with lesser damage, and most importantly, the precise orders kept the residents in our town safe, as well as keeping our own firefighters and those mutual aid firefighters and first responders on the fire scene safe. Personally, I'm amazed by your actions and proud of how well and professionally you handled everything. I personally thank you and commend you for your heroic actions. An honor and privilege for me today to serve as a past chief of department and firefighter under your command. Respectfully, Robert Schultzberg.
Again, I think everyone can agree with me, but is that our fire department is next to none. It is the best fire department in Bergen County because of all of our volunteers, especially our leadership staff. We have one of our leaders with us tonight, Neil Carroll, but our chiefs, our assistant chief, our deputy chief, we have generational representation in the River Edge Fire Department, and when push comes to shove, our DPW, our fire department, our police department show up, and they make all the difference in the world. In addition to that, so does all of our staff, like Nicole down in the building department, and so many others. Our administrator here, our deputy clerk here, they they make a huge difference. And River Edge is very blessed. And I appreciate Councilman Glass and Councilwoman Dariwal reading those into the record. I think it's important for the public to hear our successes as they hold us accountable for their concerns. Any other comments?
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
I just want to recognize all the borough employees and department heads, especially our finance department. And I thank the department heads for putting up with me when I harassed them over purchasing laws. We have another perfect audit.
Yes, I wanted to bring that up, yes.
Yeah. So we had it for 2025, 24, 23, and 21.
And for the public's benefit, this is an incredibly lengthy process. It's with, and we have because of our great employees, because of our BA and all the department heads and departments, we have been doing exceedingly well with these audits, and that translates into being fiscally responsible with taxpayers' dollars. So that when a taxpayer gives us $1, we get $1 worth of service or product or capital improvement out of it. And that's really very important, because that's what the public expects this body to do, as well as all of our departments. So we appreciate that. And we recognize them. And we also recognize our attorney and all those professionals who work so hard for us. All right. And yes.
Yeah. So this is kind of old business as well as a council comment. And the mayor knows that I'm going to bring this up again tonight. But it does, I think, dovetail with a lot of what we've been talking about tonight. So some of you remember back in maybe January or February of this year, I suggested the idea of obtaining an LED sign, one of those bright electric signs for the town, for basically improved communications for the residents of River Edge. And I kind of want to bring up the proposal again because at the time there were some questions raised that I personally didn't have answers to, but I did take time to look into it. And so I want to kind of report back, and then I have a proposal to make to move forward. One of the things that we talked about at that time was whether there's any safety concerns about these LED lights. There was a question about, would they be too bright? Would they be distracting to drivers, causing accidents, things like that? So I asked Councilmember Glass if he would check with the Traffic and Safety Committee and or the River Edge Police Department to look into that issue to see if there were any current concerns. And correct me if I'm wrong, or if you want to give your own report. My understanding is that you checked into it and you were told that there's no concerns or reservations about that.
That's correct.
Okay. So then I did some personal investigation, I guess you call it, or research myself, and I found out that LED signs are currently actually in use in a number of surrounding towns in this area, such as New Milford, Oradell, Teaneck, Maywood, and Tenafly, among many other towns, not just surrounding us, but in Bergen County. The reason why I feel like this is a very important issue for our town is because the most common purposes of these LED signs in surrounding towns is to give information quickly and efficiently to the residents. So for example, in the signs that I've looked at in these other towns, the messages kind of fell into certain categories. One was public safety. So we're talking about announcements about Amber Alerts, right? Missing people, children missing, things like that. Weather emergencies, flooding, road closures, okay? We can also put messages out about no feeding of birds in certain areas, or pigeons especially. We could have a picture of a pigeon. So that's one category, public safety announcements. Second category, civic events, including council meetings, land use meetings, other types of government meetings, letting people know when they are, what date, what time, where they are. Voting information, okay, reminding people to vote, reminding people where to vote, reminding people where to register to vote, how they can get voter registration information. Public ceremonies, events like the July 4th parade, for example, River Edge Day, the Farmers Market, all of those community type events can be broadcast on a regular basis on these LED signs. By the way, some signs can be set up where every 8 seconds you have a new message. And it goes, for those of you who have seen signs like this, it can go for 24/7. Third category, public reminders. So don't forget to pay your taxes, or such and such a date is your tax deadline to file your taxes. Pet licensing, right? We mentioned pet licensing tonight. Okay, reminding people when, where, and how to license their pets. Various kinds of permits for tree cutting, tree trimming, things like that. So all of those in those categories are very valuable and important pieces of information that right now we tend to kind of, and I don't want to overgeneralize it, but we kind of tell people to check the website, which a lot of people just don't do, and it's not so easy. But if you're driving through town and you see the LED sign and you repeatedly see messages every day on your way to work or on your way home from work, it kind of reinforces the information that needs to get out there. The other thing is cost, right? We talked about that. So the research that I did showed that these kind of signs depends a lot on where it is, the size of the sign, the town, what you want it to do. There's various kinds of technological things you can do with these signs. So the price range that I've found is anywhere from $15,000 to $40,000. Okay, and probably for what we want to do with an outdoor sign, this is my research, if you have something different.
Is that installed?
Don't just make faces at me.
Is that installed?
How big is this sign?
Yes,
Oh, the wire.
yes, an outdoor sign installed and set up with the technology. Now, depending again, what you want to do with it, and I don't want to spend too much time, and I know you don't want me to spend too much time going into the weeds on all the different things that can be done and the different prices. But there are different price ranges depending on what you want the sign to do. If you want it to just have 10 messages a day, fine. If you want it to have a different message every 8 seconds, that's something else. There are also monthly subscription fees for the, what do they call it? Like the back office operations, the IT support,
So
right?
just because we do have a long
Yeah, I'm
session,
almost finished anyway, but.
This, what you're, where we are in the agenda, according to Robert's rules, you're asking for the council to, you're informing the council you're going to be sending them information, and we would then be putting on the agenda for discussion, right?
Well, I'm giving the information now.
Okay.
But I'd like to put it on a future agenda in September sometime.
We can do that.
That we take this up, and, you know, if people want more information, we can dig into it. Everyone's free to do their own research. Maybe our borough administrator wants to do some research into it in her ample spare time that she has.
Can I ask
But yeah, so just to finish my sentence, I think we should just put it on the agenda to, I can certainly provide a more detailed, comprehensive proposal at that time with different images of LED signs and what different things they do. And then we can decide. Or we may want to even just decide to bring in vendors to tell us what their signs can do.
Okay.
I'm not an expert on it. I just know that every other town in the world seems to be doing it, and it seems to be a nice amenity to have in the town because it looks nice, it looks modern, and it's useful, right, for a lot of important purposes.
So without objection, we'll put it on for the agenda sometime in September or October. You'll coordinate with with our business administrator and our deputy clerk at this time. And And if you could send information prior to the meeting, especially where you're getting the prices and everything else, so that if any member would like to, see where the research is coming from and look in their own direction, and we'll add it as a new business item, okay? Is there objection? Hearing
But
none?
very quickly, Councilman Pfeffer, if I can ask, just for my knowledge, is it like a neon highlighted, like a lighted up sign, or is it the one that are in different boroughs where it says borough of, let's say, borough of Crescent, and it has all the things like, rolling, the Paramus has near Petruska Park, where is it that sign
It's
that you're
it's
saying?
a lighted,
digital-
yes,
yeah, like
it's a digital
but it
lighted
has like
electronic.
borough of, it'll say borough of River Edge and it'll keep rolling, something like that, right?
That's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Didn't we discuss this?
Yeah, but I don't
Jason brought
understand
it
the
up.
LED.
Yeah.
All right.
We can debate that in September.
But I would suggest, when you do your proposal, where do you propose putting the sign?
Sure.
How big is this sign? So then we have a better idea about what you are thinking.
Right, and there's also different ways of paying for it, which I can propose also.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be really great.
And wasn't there?
And if you could also CC the superintendent of public works as, with any information you send the council as well. Well, actually, you should have the information sent through the borough administrator or the deputy clerk and CC DPW so that they can chime in.
Okay.
What they see.
Sounds good.
Because those questions are going to come up anyway.
Sure, they should.
CC also Costa and Associates.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yep.
Okay, so back to the agenda. Any other council comments? Well, I think this has been very, very productive. Kudos to everyone here for their work. Could I have a motion and second to go into closed session? What, Neil?
I said the meeting's usually 17 minutes.
Could I have a motion and second to go into Resolution 26-224, resolution to go into closed session, exclude the public, attorney-client privilege, NJSA 10:4-12B7, 201 Continental Avenue, and also Building Department, NJSA 10:4-12B8, Building Department, Borough Clerk, DPW staffing.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Was the gap on? I was the crowd, I was giving my power roll back there.